All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here again with Melanie Neumann, and we're talking about recalls. But now I want to look at the idea of being in the middle of a recall. We've talked about being preparing for a recall, but when a company is in the middle of a recall, now there are a million choices to make. And I know that you have an incredible conversation. You use poker chips, but that idea of you have a lot of choices to make, and where do you place your bets in terms of which thing to decide upon? And I really appreciate your ultimate message from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about perspective, right? There's several different enterprise risks we have to manage every day, from cybersecurity to labor issues and shortages to, to competition and having to do sales and marketing to outcompete our competitors, right? But when you're in an actual recall situation as a lawyer in your company, really should be playing point guard, or at least have the ball most of the time on the court, if I have to use a sports analogy. Yeah, there's a lot of decisions to be made. Public health and safety should always be first above all else. Yes, our jobs as lawyers are to, protect the confidentiality and make sure that conversations stay, as tight as possible. So, getting your recall team in a room to verbally talk through what's going on, what information do we still need, versus having, a bazillion emails flying around, or do you have some sort of a intranet instant messaging kind of secured platform where you can securely communicate with the recall team internally electronically, right? So thinking through how to protect the conversations that get you to the point where you're making decisions on, do you need to recall? What do you need to recall? How many days do you need to recall? How many different products do you need to recall? But it's really understanding that you are a part of the puzzle and a bigger conversation with production, with food safety and quality folks, with, maybe supply chain if there could be a supplier caused recall. And so there's a lot of stakeholders and players who need to understand their role in the recall process. And if you're lucky and you have a recall once every 7 or 8 years, chances are the same people aren't in the same seats on the bus, and they've never had a chance to practice that recall.
True.
Right?
I would imagine also that during a recall is probably not the most opportune time to be introducing yourself to key stakeholders
Least
in that
opportune
company.
time. Because you haven't built the trust, right? Like, you want your phone to ring. You want a production QA manager, for example, to call you to say, I think we might have a problem. You want consumer affairs to let you know, hey, I see a trend, an uptick of complaints on this one product for the same kinds of, illness symptoms, for example.
Right.
You want to be viewed as that trusted advisor, and you can't do that if you sit in your office or you sit in your home office and you don't reach out to those other key players in the company and build and establish that communication and that trust.
Is it safe to say that if we talk about trust and transparency, like between a company and the consumer, you can't even begin to have that unless you have trust and transparency within the company?
Well put. Couldn't say it better myself.
Very good. Well, with that, we're going to end this episode here. Again, people are walking all around us and we're waving. They're waving at us.
Sorry.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
I'd be rude.
Exactly. They're hearing such great conversation, and they want to acknowledge that they agree with you. Anyway, thanks very much. We're going to come back and look at one more aspect of recalls.